Hello, viewers, and welcome to the next episode of SNEP Speaks. Today, we have with us the founder of SNEP, Mr. Jitendra Solanki. Welcome, Jitendra.
Hello, Shilpa.
And today, he is going to guide us on a very important topic. And the topic is legal guardianship. There are many confusions regarding the legal guardianship in the minds of parents of special need children. So today Jitendra will guide us on that and we'll get more information from him. So let's begin. So Jitendra, can you just tell us what exactly is legal guardianship and when it is required?
Yes. Legal guardianship, if you look at from the traditional concept, usually falls upon the minority of a child. So whenever any person is incapable or is not able to take any decision, personal or financial, for his own affairs, then he requires a support in decision making. That support is through guardianship. As I said, in a traditionally, and we also look at Guardians and Ward Act. So for every minor child, because a minor child is considered to be unfit or incapable of taking any personal or financial decisions. So a minor child requires a person to take decision on his or her behalf. That is called a guardianship. Now, legal guardianship is yes, we move from minority to an adult. So now, in case of an adult, when an adult is a person who is above 18 years of age. So, in case of an adult, when he or she is not able to take his own personal or financial decisions, then another person takes decisions on his or her behalf. That is called a legal guardianship. So a legal guardianship is a legal authority to take a decision on somebody's else personal or property or estate of that person.
Okay, so then who is the right person to become a legal guardian?
Okay, so see, as per law, the first legal guardianship will come in during the minority of the child. That's the first line of legal guardianship which will come in any individual life. Now, parents are considered to be the natural guardian. Now, what do you mean by natural guardian? Which means by birth of the child, they are the guardian of the child. So they don't need to prove that through any legal guardianship certificate or through any document that they are the legal guardian. So that's called the natural guardianship. So that's the first line of legal guardianship which will come. Now, parents will also be the legal guardian for the adult child, but they will have to prove that they are the guardian of that child once the child turns 18. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that for an adult, if you take the law for an adult, you actually don't need a legal guardian. We in general terms we also say that once I am an adult, I am free to take my own decisions. So the natural guardianship ends once the child turns 18. Now, but if the child needs a support in decision making, like the special need children, so the parents also have to take the legal guardianship certificate. So they also need that document to prove that they are the legal guardian. But they will be the first legal guardian who will be appointed for the adult child also. So nobody else would be appointed. So they are the first line of legal guardian. Then the second line of legal guardianship will go to the sibling. So if there is a sibling after the parent, the sibling will become the legal guardian. If sibling is not there, then it will go to the paternal side, relatives on the paternal side. If no relatives on the paternal side, then it can go to maternal side. Also, a legal guardian can be appointed by the parent through a will, who can be beyond the blood relatives, right? So, yes, there is a line of blood relations where the legal guardianship would fall, but in general, parents can also appoint a legal guardian whom they feel that after their lifetime, he is the right person to take care of their child affairs. He can be the legal guardian.
Okay. Now, another question comes to my mind. You said that after parents, the siblings can be the legal guardians. And so nowadays, there are many children who are going abroad for studies and settling there, and they are becoming NRIs. So, if such case is there where the parents are here, but the other sibling is in outside India, so can then NRI become a legal guardian?
So, there is no, for me, there is no straightforward answer to it. If you look at the National Trust website, the National Trust clearly says that the legal guardian has to be a resident Indian. Okay,
Mhm.
which means they won't appoint NRI as a legal guardian. But National Trust is only a one authority where legal guardianship can be seen. It's an alternative. The same legal guardianship can also be obtained from the court. Now, if there is nobody else to take the guardianship, right? Then might be an NRI might be given a legal guardianship provided some conditions has to be met. Okay,
Okay.
but largely, yes, if we take it from the law perspective, a guardian has to be within the Indian court jurisdiction. Okay, that's the first line of law which comes. So if it's a sibling, and there are situations like a sibling has been appointed a legal guardian when he is an Indian and when he's moved abroad.
Huh.
So can he still continue? So we have cases where the sibling has continued to be a legal guardian. Now, what can happen in that case that he can be appointed a legal guardian, but with a condition that he will also have to appoint somebody as a resident Indian, to take care for the child on his behalf.
Hmm.
Right. So he will be the legal guardian, but you will still need another resident Indian to, take care of the child affairs whenever in need. So
Okay.
these conditions can be there for NRIs to become a legal guardian.
Okay. So now that we are specifically focusing our activities onto the special need children families, how much important this legal guardianship is for the special need perspective?
See, legal guardianship is very, very important because in a traditional family, the legal guardianship might not be required once the child turns 18. So, for a minor child, you might need a legal guardian. So, parents can make provision in the will and say, that so and so person would be the legal guardian for my child, taking care of his personal affairs, of his assets till he becomes an adult. And once he becomes an adult, then that provision ends and the asset move to the child. But in case of special need children, because they are going to be uh, dependent lifelong, and they won't be able to make decisions on their personal affairs or on their financial affairs largely. In that case, to ensure that somebody is there to take decisions on the child behalf, then a legal guardian has to be always there, right? A legal guardian will always be required, irrespective that you might move, say, financial to the trust. Now, the trust will manage the financials, but the trust is not the authority to take decision on the personal affairs. And in the beginning, when I said that a legal authority has to be there to take a decision on an adult behalf. So, who is going to have that legal authority? That legal authority the legal guardian has. So suppose the child adult has moved to the age of 30. Now, a decision has to be taken to move him to a residential living. Or say, some emergency comes up, some decision has to be taken in the hospital. Somebody has to sign the papers. Now, who is the authorized person to sign those papers or sign those documents on that adult behalf? It's only the legal guardian. So that's why for special children families, legal guardianship become very, very important.
Okay. And what will be the procedure? I mean, where do you apply and how one can apply for the legal guardianship?
Okay, so there are two ways. First is the national trust, which I would say is more cost effective or even without any cost, and it's an easier way to apply. So the national trust has a provision to issue the legal guardianship certificate. Now, national trust on the website, you have online application today. You can fill that application online. You submit those documents which are required while filling up the application. with the name of the person who are going to be appointed as legal guardian. So you might have single guardianship, or you might take a joint guardianship. And once that application is submitted, then you get a reference number through which then assessment is taken after a certain time. Once that assessment is over, then the legal guardianship certificate is issued. Now, in general, National Trust takes up disabilities like autism, cerebral palsy, uh, mental retardation, or multiple disabilities. So these disabilities are taken care by the National Trust. So if your child is within the disabilities, then you can apply through the National Trust. But National Trust is not the mandatory requirement. You can also apply to the district court for legal guardianship. So there might be situations where National Trust would not take up the case. Say, for example, if the child is not born in India, he is born in UK or US, in other part of the country, but now parents and the child are settled in India. So you might have to apply to the district court for the legal guardianship, or even within the disability that I mentioned, which National Trust takes care. It's not mandatory to apply to the National Trust. You can always go to the district court to take up the legal guardianship. But it's a district court, so it will have its own hearing. They will have their own assessment. It will take up own time. So both procedures would be different. So you can apply either to National Trust or either through district court for the legal guardianship.
So we'll have to appoint a lawyer, and we'll have to go formally through the lawyer because it's a court matter. So we have to appoint a lawyer, isn't it?
Yes,
And
if
how
you are
much time
going
it
through.
normally takes?
So when you apply, when you apply through National Trust, it totally depends on the procedure of local level committees. So what happens is National Trust appoints local level committees in states. Okay, so that local level committee is taking care of the guardianship process. So they are doing the assessment. So it depends on how much time they take in doing the assessment. I think anywhere from 3 to 6 months it might take for having an assessment and getting the guardianship certificate. When it comes to district court, it totally depends on the hearings, how much hearing it will happen, and maybe within the same time, as I mentioned, the guardianship certificate might be issued or it might be earlier also. So totally depends on the court matter. So I would not comment on how much time it takes when you apply through a district court. It can happen early also. It can take some time also.
Okay. So viewers, what we have done now is we have understood what is legal guardianship, the concept of it, the importance of it, and also how one should apply for the legal guardianship. So we'll stop here for today, and in next session we'll dwell more detailed about legal guardianship, and let us understand more nuances about it from Jitendra. Thank you, Jitendra.
Thank you, Shilpa.